Okay, this is story time about how I got shot or whatever. So I was talking to this boy. We was talking for like a couple months or whatever. So he used to always be in my car, like ride around in my car. We used to always be together, riding around, stuff like that. Where they put me in the ambulance truck, where they put me on the bed, put me in the ambulance truck, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just asking them the whole time, like, am I gonna die? Am I gonna be okay? Please just tell me, am I gonna die? I was like, am I gonna be okay? So like,
oh no, school! School toe up!
She said something. She asleep.
She asleep?
How does a young woman, brimming with promise and potential, meet her end in such a devastating and violent way, shot dead just steps from her own front door? Who was Mia Nixon, and what unfolded in those fateful moments leading to her untimely death? Are the answers hiding in plain sight, or are they shrouded in secrets too dangerous to reveal? Was Mia an innocent victim of unforeseen circumstances, or did the consequences of her past choices finally catch up with her in the cruelest way? In the quiet early hours of January 10, 2024, tragedy struck the heart of Birmingham, Alabama, when 21-year-old Mia Nixon was found unresponsive in her driveway on Greencrest Turn. The place she called home became the site of an unthinkable crime. In an instant, the place Mia Nixon called home transformed from a sanctuary into the scene of a chilling tragedy. Her life, once brimming with ambition and dreams of making her mark in the beauty industry, was violently cut short in a single, devastating moment. Was Mia's death the result of a calculated attack, or did she fall victim to an act of random brutality? And what of those inside the house that night? Could someone be guarding a secret, a crucial detail that could unlock the truth?
Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel. Hit the notification bell icon so you won't miss our latest videos.
Also new now at 5, Birmingham police asking for your help to find whoever shot and killed this young woman, Mia Nixon, back in January. Investigators say her family is hurting and pushing for justice in her case.
Our Tristan Rupert is live at 5 and on your side talking with investigators about this case. Tristan, what can you tell us?
Police believe Mia Nixon was targeted, actually, and they say community help could be critical in them solving this case. I spoke with Birmingham police officer Truman Fitzgerald earlier today. He says detectives have looked into every single lead they could really concerning this case, and that a tip from the community could be critical in really cracking it wide open. Now, Officer Fitzgerald says Nixon was beloved, talented, and really excelling in the hair and nail field. He says Birmingham police won't stop searching for the person responsible for her death, and stresses no matter the information, you need to come forward if you know something.
Nothing's too small. We know the streets are talking. We know Mia was extremely popular, but our detectives need that information. So anything you have, please call that into Crime Stoppers.
Remember, Crime Stoppers is a fully anonymous process. No matter what your information is, they never know your identity. And if you do provide information that leads to an arrest in this case, you could be eligible for a $5,000 reward.
Today, we examine the haunting events that shook a peaceful Birmingham neighborhood and left an unfillable void in the lives of those who loved Mia. The road to justice is littered with unanswered questions and harrowing revelation. This case is layered with complexities and dark turns that challenge easy assumptions. While the details may provoke strong reactions, we ask that you approach this story with respect for Mia's grieving family. Share your thoughts, but let compassion guide your words. It was a calm and uneventful night in Birmingham's Crestwood neighborhood, a night when the gentle rustle of trees and the faint murmur of passing cars should have been the loudest sounds in the air. But at precisely 1:45 a.m. on January 10, 2024, that fragile peace was shattered. A chilling 911 call reporting gunfire summoned police to Greencrest Turn. What they found was haunting. 21-year-old Mia Nixon lying motionless in her driveway just feet from the threshold of her home, a place meant to offer safety and solace. She had been shot. Emergency responders rushed Mia to the hospital, clinging to hope that her life could be saved, but the severity of her injuries left no room for miracles. Declared dead shortly after arrival, Mia's radiant light, a beacon of promise in Birmingham's burgeoning beauty scene, was extinguished far too soon. Detectives pieced together what little they could. They determined Mia had been standing outside her home when the fatal shot rang out. As for the shooter, they disappeared into the night without leaving so much as a trace. No weapon, no fingerprints, no answers. Inside the house, Mia's family remained unharmed, a bitter irony that raised unsettling questions. How did no one hear the gunshot? Why wasn't Mia safe inside with them? And most crucially, what drew her out into the stillness of the night? These important questions remained unanswered, clouding the investigation with uncertainty. Detectives fanned out across the neighborhood, knocking on doors and speaking with neighbors. A few recalled the sharp crack of a single gunshot piercing the stillness of the night, but no one reported seeing a figure fleeing into the shadows. Surveillance cameras on nearby homes, the silent sentinels of suburban security, yielded nothing of value. It was as if the perpetrator had dissolved into the air, leaving behind no trace of their existence. What baffled investigators further was Mia's lack of known enemies. By all accounts, she was a young woman, beloved by friends and admired for her drive and charisma. Her social media painted a picture of a life filled with ambition and positivity, a budding star in Birmingham's beauty industry who appeared to have everything going for her. So why would anyone want to harm her? The pieces didn't add up, but then came a chilling twist. Witnesses inside the house that night claimed they didn't hear the gunshot at all. How could that be? Was the weapon outfitted with a silencer, or was someone deliberately concealing the truth? Each unanswered question cast a deeper shadow over the case. Who pulled the trigger? Why was Mia outside so late, alone, when she should have been safe within the walls of her home? And most disturbingly, what secrets, if any, lay buried beneath the surface of her seemingly bright and promising life? The answers, it seemed, were as elusive as the killer who stole her future. Mia Nixon was only 21, but she carried herself with the poise and ambition of someone destined to leave an indelible mark on the world. Born and raised in Birmingham, she was the heart of a tight-knit family that championed her dreams at every turn. Those who knew Mia described her as a force of nature, vibrant, driven, and capable of lighting up even the darkest room with her infectious energy. Her talent in the beauty industry was undeniable. Specializing in hair and nails, Mia possessed a unique ability to transform not just appearances, but also the confidence of those who sat in her chair. Clients raved about her precision, her creativity, and the genuine care she poured into her work. This wasn't just a job for Mia. It was her passion, her art, and her vision for a brighter future. Her ultimate dream? To open her own salon, a sanctuary of beauty and empowerment where she could fuse her talent with her entrepreneurial spirit. Yet Mia's impact reached far beyond her professional skill set. To her friends, she was a beacon of loyalty and kindness. One close friend reminisced, "Mia had this incredible way of making you feel like you were the most important person in the world. Her laugh, her presence, it was unforgettable." Her social media accounts were a window into her world, showcasing not only her talent but also her relentless drive to inspire others. Through every post, Mia encouraged her community to dream big and work hard, becoming a role model for young women who saw in her a reflection of their own aspirations. But now, all that promise, all that hope is gone. Her dreams remain unfulfilled, her laughter silenced forever. The question that lingers, haunting her family and friends alike, is this: how does a life so full of potential and light meet such a sudden and violent end? And who could have wanted to extinguish that light? The Mia Nixon her friends and family knew was the embodiment of ambition and resilience, a young woman who radiated warmth and determination. But beneath the public persona lay another side of her story, one riddled with questions and contradictions. Could it be that this hidden chapter of her life led to the events of that tragic night? Theories and whispers suggest a complexity to Mia's life that authorities have been reluctant to make public, perhaps for reasons only they understand. Yet the streets have their own way of talking, and the picture they paint is far from the one Mia shared on social media. Take December 2, 2023, for instance. On that date, Mia posted on Facebook commemorating what she called her anniversary of survival. It had been exactly 1 year since a harrowing attack. While sitting in her car, Mia's vehicle was riddled with bullets. One shot struck her in the ear and exited near her eye, a near-fatal wound that she miraculously survived. For many, surviving such an ordeal would be a wake-up call, a moment to reassess and step away from danger. But for Mia, it seemed her connection to a darker undercurrent in her life only deepened. Speculation swirled that the attack was no random act, but a calculated message, a grim foreshadowing of what was to come. Just 3 months before her death, Mia was arrested on charges of drug trafficking. She managed to post a $40,000 bond, but the arrest raised troubling questions. Who was Mia connected to? Was she entangled in a web of dangerous individuals and decisions far removed from her life as a budding entrepreneur? For the community who saw her as a talented beautician, a role model, and a survivor, This revelation cast a shadow on her image. But for those who knew the whispers on the streets, her life was far more layered and far more perilous than anyone realized. To the outside world, Mia Nixon seemed like any other young woman determined to rise above her circumstances, a dreamer chasing her goals with relentless passion. But behind the surface, her story was more complicated, more dangerous, and as the details of her life began to unravel, one chilling fact became clear. Her death was no random. Detectives quickly reached that conclusion. The evidence, or lack of it, painted a calculated crime, executed with precision. Whoever pulled the trigger knew exactly what they were doing. No weapon was left at the scene, no fingerprints, no signs of a struggle, just a lifeless body in the driveway and a void that no answers could yet fill. As investigators worked tirelessly to piece together the fragments of that night, they combed through the neighborhood, canvassing for witnesses and clues. Friends, neighbors, even those who happened to pass by were questioned. The answers, however, were as elusive as the killer who vanished into the darkness. Frustration mounted as the case grew colder by the day. Detectives issued repeated pleas to the public, urging anyone with even the smallest shred of information to come forward. No detail is too insignificant, they emphasized, desperate to ignite a breakthrough. Yet, in cases like these, the barriers to justice often seem insurmountable. The silence spoke volumes. A lack of witnesses combined with an absence of physical evidence left investigators grappling with shadows and dead ends. Each passing week felt like a step further from the truth. Why Mia? Why would someone target a young woman who seemed to be loved and admired by so many? Was this the work of a calculated predator, or was there something deeply personal, something hidden, that led to her brutal end? These questions linger, haunting not just the investigators tasked with solving her case, but everyone who knew and loved Mia Nixon. The absence of answers only deepens the wound. A chilling twist began to emerge from the whispers of Alabama's streets, a term that carried with it the weight of danger and betrayal. Setup queen. For those unfamiliar with the term, a setup queen is a woman who works alongside a crew, carefully selecting and luring unsuspecting targets into vulnerable situations. Using charm, allure, and the pretense of romance or connection, these women bait individuals into traps, often leading to robbery, assault, or even murder. Let's unravel how these dangerous schemes typically unfold. The targets are chosen for their visible signs of wealth, luxury cars, expensive jewelry, or high-end attire. The hunters, setup queens included, frequent places like nightclubs and social gatherings where wealthy individuals let their guard down. A target is approached with flirtation and the illusion of genuine interest. Drinks flow, laughter is shared, and trust is subtly built. The target, often unaware, believes they found a romantic or exciting connection. Meanwhile, the setup queen is in constant communication with her crew, relaying the target's location, appearance, and possessions via text messages, location sharing, or even discreet photos. As the night progresses, the queen might escalate the ruse, suggesting a more private meeting. Whether it's a hotel, a home, or another secluded location, the target willingly escorts her, unaware they're leading themselves into a trap. Sometimes the queen feigns intoxication, appearing vulnerable and harmless, while continuing to subtly orchestrate the ambush. Other times she creates an excuse to leave abruptly, ensuring the crew knows the target is isolated and exposed. What happens next is the work of the accomplices: robbery, violence, or worse. In extreme cases, the queen remains present during the attack, feigning shock as the victim is stripped of their possessions or assaulted. Some targets don't survive these setups, their trust betrayed in the most brutal of ways. And now, in the story of Mia Nixon, rumors began swirling that her involvement in such schemes might have been more than hearsay. Could this hidden world of manipulation and danger have played a role in her tragic fate? Or were these whispers another layer of speculation shrouding the truth in shadow? What remains undeniable is that these schemes thrive on deception, leaving lives shattered and questions lingering long after the traps are sprung. Following Mia Nixon's death, a storm of accusations and speculation erupted on social media, painting a starkly different picture of the young woman so many admired. Among the flood of comments were damning claims accusing Mia of being a setup queen. Some alleged that her recent dealings had backfired, suggesting that someone she had wronged retaliated in the most violent way possible. The night of January 10th offered a chilling glimpse into this narrative. Just minutes before she was gunned down, Mia went live on Facebook, embroiled in a heated argument with a man known by the street name Youngstar Dedan. The exchange was charged with tension, littered with gang-affiliated language and threats like "pull up." He accused Mia of setting up one of his associates, potentially leading to robbery or worse. Roughly 30 minutes after that fiery confrontation, Mia stepped outside her home into the cool night air. Perhaps she wanted to confirm if the threats were real, if someone had indeed pulled up, but lurking in the shadows was someone who didn't come to talk. In an instant, her life was stolen by a single gunshot. What followed was a cascade of denials and finger-pointing. Hours after her death, young star Dadan returned to Facebook Live to address the growing rumors. With visible agitation, he denied any involvement in Mia's murder, claiming he had no idea what happened that night. In an attempt to deflect suspicion, he pointed the finger at another individual. Here's what young star Dadan said. But the streets weren't buying it. Another man, known as Vito, fired back with a video of his own, accusing Dadan of trying to shift blame and stoking even more speculation. Their public feud fanned the flames of uncertainty, leaving the community to wonder. Was Mia's death an act of retaliation by someone she had crossed, or was it the tragic culmination of a life lived on the edge? Here's Vito's response. The whispers didn't stop there. Images from Mia's social media accounts fueled further scrutiny. Photos of her posing with stacks of cash, others showing her holding a firearm, often dressed in striking red outfits. To some, these pictures hinted at a dangerous lifestyle. To others, they were a reminder of how perception and reality can collide in devastating ways. Was Mia the victim of a setup gone wrong, or was her death a brutal reckoning for past actions? No matter the answer, one truth remains painfully clear. Her story is a somber warning about the perils of walking too close to the flames. It's a tale of ambition, choices, and the fragile line between survival and tragedy. In the wake of Mia Nixon's tragic death, one message echoed louder than any rumor: be careful, because things are rarely as they seem. To help uncover the truth, authorities announced a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Mia's killer. But for those who loved her, no amount of money could equal the value of closure or the desperate need for answers. Standing before the cameras, Officer Truman Fitzgerald made an impassioned plea. This is someone's daughter, someone's sister, he urged, his voice heavy with the weight of a community's sorrow. The plea reverberated far beyond Birmingham, sparking a wave of news coverage and discussions. Reward posters dotted storefronts and social media feeds, but alongside them, the streets buzzed with speculation and whispered theories. Who had taken Mia's life and why? The rumors painted a complex and fractured picture of motives shrouded in mystery. Yet, despite the mounting pressure, silence prevailed. Fear loomed large, creating invisible barriers between the truth and those who could reveal it. Some feared retaliation, others harbored distrust of law enforcement. And then there were those who convinced themselves that someone else would come forward, leaving the burden untouched. This wall of silence has proven formidable, and as the months stretched on, hope for answers began to fade. 11 long months have passed since that fateful night, and the case remains stagnant, the trail colder with every ticking second. For Mia's family, the pain is unrelenting. Her absence is not just a loss, but a gaping wound that refuses to heal. Her mother, Erica Nixon, speaks of the grief with heartbreaking clarity. It's a constant ache, she shares, a void that no words can fill. Through her tears, Erica has one plea: I just want justice for my baby. She didn't deserve this. Her words are a stark reminder that behind every unsolved case lies a family left shattered, a community left questioning, and a call for justice that grows more urgent with each passing day. Despite the crushing weight of their grief, Mia Nixon's family refuses to let her story fade into silence. In the face of unimaginable heartbreak, they've transformed their pain into a relentless pursuit of justice. Every tear, every sleepless night fuels their determination to uncover the truth. They have become unyielding advocates, attending community meetings, speaking at public forums, and making impassioned pleas through the media. We won't stop, Mia's mother Erica declares. We owe it to Mia to fight for answers. Their voices, raw with emotion, echo one desperate question: when will Mia's killer be brought to justice? And with each passing day, another question looms larger. Just how close are investigators to uncovering the truth? For those who have information, no matter how insignificant it might seem, it could be the missing piece that finally cracks this case wide open. The family's plea is simple yet profound. Speak up, help us bring closure to Mia's story, and ensure her light isn't extinguished in vain. The fight for justice isn't just about solving a crime. It's about preserving the memory of a young woman whose life, filled with promise and passion, was stolen too soon. Every step her family takes is a testament to their love for Mia and their unwavering hope that someone, somewhere, holds the key to unlocking the answers they so desperately seek. If you have any information that could help bring justice to Mia Nixon, contact Crime Stoppers at 2052547777. Tips can remain completely anonymous. Even the smallest detail could be the breakthrough that changes everything. While whispers of Mia's past have stirred speculation, let's be clear. No one deserves to have their life stolen. Violence is never justified, and no one has the right to take another's future away. There are always better, safer paths to resolve disputes, a truth we must never forget. Help us ensure that Mia's story doesn't fade into obscurity. Share her name, her story, and the urgent call for justice far and wide. Together, we can amplify the voice she no longer has, demanding accountability and closure for a life lost too soon. If this story moved you, let it be a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of standing up for what's right. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments, respectfully and with compassion. Our hearts and prayers remain with Mia's family during this unimaginably difficult time. We stand with them in their fight for justice and their hope for peace. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay safe, and always strive to live with integrity. Let Mia's story be a cautionary tale, a reminder that choices matter and that justice, though elusive, must be pursued relentlessly.